She's one of our amazing staff here, and she just wants to talk a little bit about her position. We're trying to get more of our staff involved so y'all can see who we are, what we do. So here is Ms. Richardson.
Okay, good afternoon.
We have to hear our please move the microphone.
You gotta put that on your license plate. Sorry, like that. Once they do that, put that on. Okay, all right. Steve, we good?
Should be. Let me just check subtitles real quick.
Okay, so like you said, my name is Miss Richardson.
Say Steve.
Good afternoon. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you my role as a mild moderate support needs paraprofessional in the special education department here at Phoenix Academy Day School. Not night school, but day school. Okay, day school. Okay, now what is special education? Mild moderate paraprofessional. Okay, I am an educational assistant who works with an assigned certificated teacher to support students with learning disabilities. Now, they have two classes here. They have two special education classes. They have first, second, and third, and then they have the fourth, fifth, and sixth. And I work with fourth, fifth, and sixth special education, okay? And so what it is that it's students with like ADHD, emotional disturbances, intellectual disabilities, communication impairments, and other challenges such as, anger issues. Okay, so what has happened is that they can fall below their academic level, and sometimes they can fall below that because of like poor attendance, not doing classroom work, or other things. Okay, and so if they fall way below the academic level, then, they have an IEP, which the certificate teacher, it has on the goals, what they want them to meet to get back up to that academic level. Okay, and so they can fall below their academic level, like I said, by not doing assigned classwork. They got a short attention span. Okay, so my focus is supporting students in achieving their academic success to get back on track, possibly in their grade level if possible. So what I do is that I work with students. I'm under a certificate teacher in the classroom. And so I could work with either up to 5 students, like in a setting. And it could last for about, here it lasts about 15 or 20 minutes because of their attention span, all right? So let's see here. Okay, so what I am doing is I am trying to meet the students' need to help them excel in reading, writing, and spelling. Okay, so that can go from like helping them like do sound, like sounding out something like, beginning of a word, like it starts with TH. I'm going to help them stuff, fa, cha, or something like that, and that helps. That really helps the student. Okay, I will monitor the student's behavior and performance to the assigned student teacher. So some of the other things that I do also here is that I help supervise on the when I come in, I help supervise in the cafeteria, on the field, in the classroom, monitoring the bathrooms, like that. Okay. Now, also what I also do, some of my role as a special education worker, I also grade. I could grade and I could do testing, on that. They have that in mind too. Okay, I'm not gonna be up here long. Okay, I'm almost finished. Okay, so
Good.
all right. So now there's other things that they do. My day starts at 7:30. Okay, dismissal time is at 2:30. All right, and then they have other things that they do here that helps a student gets on track. Because the students have learning disabilities and they get angry or they're anxious, and so what they do is that they also have Lady Phoenix comes in she's a dog that comes in, and so they have like petting, touching, and it helps them like calm down, calm down. So that does help our special education students. And then also they have, it's the same thing as in a regular school. They have where they could go to the library on certain days. That'll help them check out library books and stuff like that. Okay. So now, so I did cover where I do. All right, so other than that, I covered everything that I was gonna cover because they said that for me not to be up here long. Okay, you know what else I wanted to, this book is pretty good. It's a parent lab book. I don't know if you've seen it in the office. This book will help you, this book is pretty good if you wanna like, sometimes they'll have something in here to help you with like, if a student has like, or your child has like a behavior problem or anything like that. This is a pretty good book. Have you ever seen it? Magazine? It's not a book, it's a magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty good to look at. So if you haven't looked at it, it's in the library. And so, see, he went to the restroom and see, he missed the whole presentation. No, but anyway, it's recorded. Yeah, okay, so. Okay, so but I want to thank you for your time for this meeting. And so I hope that you understand that I do work in the special education department with students who have special needs. Okay, they do have an IEP for that, but that's something that the certificate teacher would explain to you. You know, it has certain goals on there that they want to meet to get the student back up to the academic level that they're on. So let's say, for instance, if they're in the fourth grade, they may not be on the fourth grade level. Okay, they may not be reading on a fourth grade level. And so my job is to help them in the reading, the writing, and the spelling to get them back up to that level. They may not get back up to that level, but I'm here to provide that service for them. And I enjoy doing that. Okay. So, and I want to thank you for your time, for allowing me to come over here and explain my role here at Phoenix Academy Day Camp. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, just on that too, so we have paras in most of our classes, paraprofessionals. And so that, what we'd like to do, like Mr. Amber said, have some of our, like throughout the year, some of our staff members come in and kind of explain their jobs. And when you see people on campus, we know what they're actually doing, what their role is, what they are doing in the classroom with students. So like you said, Ms. Richardson is in our SDC classes with 4 through 6. We have Ms. Johnson in our other special day class, which is grades 1 through 3. But we also have some paraprofessionals in our regular general education classes too. So especially, I think right now we don't in our grades 5 and 6, but we will be hiring one for that. But all the rest of the classes do have a paraprofessional as well too. So like in our second grade class, we have Ms. Hallie. First grade is Ms. Hernandez. Third grade, we have Mr. Gutero, and in fourth grade, Ms. Gyros. So we do have those additional supports for our students, so they can work in small groups, sometimes individually. It's just extra supports they have to help them make sure they're up on grade level. If they are on grade level, we want to push them higher. If they're not at grade level, we want to get them close as we can to do that. So Ms. Sim did a great job with some of our kids coming in, especially in her class, because in her and Ms. Bibbich's classes, there are 3 grade levels in the same class. There's 4th graders, 5th graders, and 6th graders. So that's hard when you're doing different grade levels and different curriculums. So that way they can kind of split up and they can work with that too. So people actually work with some kids at a certain level, while Ms. Goodrich, the teacher, is working at maybe with 5th graders, and she's working with a 4th grader or a 6th grader. So we're able to kind of like move that around so that way everybody gets their needs met. So we appreciate our parents, and it's good. Ms. Richardson, thank you for coming in.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you.
So this has been up for a bit. I just wanted to touch base, let y'all know about our clubs. Those of you that have been here, I'm sure your kids done 1 or 2 of them before, but for our Chewing Movie students and families, we have some lunch clubs. So keeps them occupied, gives them a place to be if they don't want to be in the field, if it's hot, if it's whatever. 5 days of the week, we have all kinds of artsy ones. If they want to be up on a stage, if they want to be the center of attention, if they want people cheering for them, right? We have dance, we have choir, drama, puppetry. We got music, we have drawing, we got painting, chess, games, writing poetry if they're interested. We got board games, chess separate. Computer club was really popular today. They were really enjoying that. They got to walk their own laptops from their classes to room 5, be a little independent, be a little responsible. Sports options, all that jazz. So if your kiddo is interested, if you know that they want to do any of these things, please feel free to take a picture. If you want to pull out your cell phone right now, you can take a picture and be like, hey kid, you like drawing. You should do drawing club. You know what I mean? Really good way to get them involved, get them engaged, and get them prepared for secondary, where they may want to be involved with more school and campus activities. This is more practice. Get right out of your way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mrs. Baker, for making this, and also she's instrumental in running this around campus and checking in and keeping our kids enthused and hyped to be here so they can engage in these activities. Because they are really fun, and sometimes you might learn a new hobby or activity you didn't know you loved. So take a chance. So again, please do encourage your children, if they haven't tried one, to try one and ask them about it. Like, oh, you do, tell me about it. Okay. All right, so welcome to Parenting Lab. I'm Amber. If this is your first time here, I'm the librarian. We also want to thank our amazing admin. They make this possible. So thank y'all so much. Mrs. Baker, she does everything. Also, we have Miss Fatima in the office and Miss Precious. They get us our snacks. They keep us running smooth. It's Swanee set this all up. So thank you to our Phoenix family. This is our agenda for today. We're going to be looking at parenting categories and how they work with the scientific method, which we have been teaching to our children, but how we can encourage them in that learning. And fun fact about raccoons. They are amazing moms, so feel free to look up that on YouTube. They're good folks. Just a reminder of our norms and expectations while we're at Parent Lab, also online in the chat. Please be respectful in your language use. We want to have a positive attitude, friendly conversations, good words, academically appropriate. Limit your mobile phone use if you're here in person. Limit your side conversations. I like that you guys are excited or engaged or want to talk about something we're doing. But again, it can be distracted. If you have any concerns, complaints, or criticisms, you can direct them to me. We just ask that you do it at the end of Parenting Lab in respect to what any of our speakers and our time here. Also, I can get you to the grown-ups who can probably fix your issue. Just a reminder of our mission statement here at Phoenix. We want to create an equity-centered environment where all of our students can thrive, tap into their skills, their strengths, build on their weaknesses, and become ideal for both themselves and our society so that they feel empowered to thrive. Thrive is our motto. We worked with that last week at Parenting Lab and you were able to participate. So today, parenting categories and our scientific method. We do teach the scientific method in school. You probably remember it. It's just a set of skills to explore new phenomenon and answer questions. I think I can play this video. Let's find out. What I did wrong. Of course not. This is super loud, y'all.
Think about how you can incorporate these steps into your interactions with children. Using the scientific method,
all the different steps. And of course, the steps can change, move. They're very organic, but anytime they encounter a new phenomenon or experience, this is something that naturally happens. One of the first things your child probably started asking you is why, why, why? That's the scientific method. Why does this happen? Why does this occur? Why do we do this? And then, well, let's find out. That's the experimental phase. Hypothesis is coming up with a preconceived idea of what you think will happen or why the why. And then you do the experiment and find out how it went down. Children naturally have this curiosity. We all did/do. Anytime we encounter something new or different. It's usually how we as adults will respond to their questioning or inquiry that can shape these learning experiences. Also, I love scientific writing. That's the key. So this is a video from Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm going to warn you, he does get a little passionate. This is one of his very strong felt opinions and talking points. So please do not be offended. This is just how he feels about why the scientific method is so important to nurture in children.
Sir, are born scientists. They're always turning over rocks and plucking petals off a flower. They're always doing things that by and large are destructive. And that's what exploration kind of is. If you take stuff apart, whether or not you know how to put it back together. This is what kids do. An adult scientist is a kid who never grew up. That's what an adult scientist does. So what happens at home is the kid reaches in the refrigerator, pulls out an egg and starts juggling it. So the first thing you do as a parent, stop playing with the egg. It could break. Put it back. Excuse me, this is an experiment in the material strength of kids find out that when it drops, it breaks. That's
Figure. So for an example, I was very nervous to learn how to drive. I didn't want to learn how to drive. I went kicking and screaming. My dad was not, empathetic to my fear, so we only did one driving lesson, and I almost broke a stick shift transmission, and that was the end of that. So my mom took over, and I had a positive learning experience. She was a little bit more understanding, went a little bit more my pace, showed that empathy, and I'm still a terrible driver. That's not a comment on her teaching. It's just some things don't take, but just an example. So if you can think back, you know, you could be little bitty, you could be a teenager, but just a positive or negative learning experience you've had with a parental figure when you were growing up. I do have chips up here. If anybody can get chips, I apologize. It's kind of miscellaneous, so I wasn't sure what everybody was into.
And then while everyone is kind of taking some time to think and to write, I'm going to go ahead and mute us.
No, 11 years old, you know, I kind of grew up. Back in the 60s, everything was real fast. You know, my mom made us go to work at an early age. I was already working out in the field at 5 years old. And I was already driving these tractors and cars and all of that. You know, because that was part of the job. And, I'm paying off because I know how to dodge everybody on the field. Everybody drives crazy, man. If you don't go 100 miles an hour, you're gonna get hit.
Yep.
Anyway, the world was a different place back then. Now, these kids, they don't even know what they're up against. You could buy 4 gallons gas or maybe 5, man, for all 4 for $1. That's how good it was.
There's pros and cons, but it's good to have the experiences as adults because we do have the ability to share them with our kids. Yeah, some of them won't learn it till they experience it, but we can front load it. We can give them a heads up, like, hey, it's gonna be tough. And for y'all that were here last year, you might have seen this already, or if you just have a Disney Plus account, you might have seen it. I can't remember which Pixar movie it was in front of, but it's an animated short called Far from the Tree. There's an idiom in English or an old saying in English that the acorn or the apple then fall far from the tree. So this is kind of playing on that title about the parent-child relationship and will a child end up like their parent necessarily or parental figure. Again, in real life, raccoons are raised by their mama, but these are anthropomorphic, raccoons behaving to teach us a lesson. So we're going to just consider this a genderless parental figure. So I named it PR, Parent Raccoon. So it can be whatever it wants to be. Bandit is just the name of the baby. So big raccoon, little raccoon. And we're going to see how their relationship develops in this very short little half of the first part of the play. If I can make
If it's not big enough on that next slide,
it do the next. Oh, is that? I don't know.
it should be big enough.
I can't see it again. It's on Disney Plus. It is on YouTube, and it will be in the chat.
Yep.
That thing. Super sorry if it's super loud. learning experience of this, Ms. Baker and me.
And then that's right at about 4 minutes, so we can pop back.
Awesome. So if you don't mind answering the questions on your sheet, they're just some, checking for understanding questions about why, what's happening. So how does little bandit first react when he sees the beach? Why does parent raccoon, PR, bring him a little clam? How does bandit react when they get the clam? Why did little bandit start digging that hole in the sand? Why did parent raccoon smash that shell that the little raccoon was listening to? It's really hard to see. I apologize if the quality isn't good, but I've seen it on a higher quality. It's still easy to miss is how little baby bandit gets the cut on its nose. And how do you think the parent raccoon got the scar that's over its bad eye? And then once they're back in the tree, how do you think they feel about themselves, their relationship, that trip to the beach? What's their takeaway emotion from this experience? Somebody got that.
I'm good. Okay, we're gonna start the second half.
Engage with it. We're gonna see the second half now. This will be bandit, baby is now grown up, so it's adult bandits. And they will be parenting their child, which I call baby. So on your sheet, you'll see it referred to as baby. So our little baby bandit's now grown up, and we got our little new baby. beautiful little part, and it really makes a powerful message about us as parental figures and the impact we can have on any children in our care in how we respond to their curiosity and their learning, because they're brand new and they haven't seen all of this world and what we've seen, and we can help shape those experiences. So again, there's some questions on your, if you don't mind answering them, I might have and technologies.
I think
Thanks.
skip 2 or 3
There we
slides.
go, there we go. So if you don't mind answering, how did baby, the new baby, kind of got keep a little bit hot going, react to seeing the bee? You might have seen some similarities to how they reacted to how Little Bandit had reacted when they were little. Why did the baby start banging that little seed on the rock? He tried to leave the cave. It's kind of hard to see. Again, I apologize for the quality, but Disney, please don't get mad at me. I'm promoting people to buy your product. Bandit's initial reaction. So how did adult Bandit initially react when little baby kept leaving the cave and disobeying? And then what made adult Bandit suddenly change and stop that? And then how did Bandit's approach to teaching little baby differ from how it went down when Bandit was baby? And just like last time, when they're up in the tree together, how do you think adult Bandit and this new little baby feel about this beach trip, their relationship, themselves and each other? They don't tell us, but we just have to kind of gauge it based on what we witnessed. Take a few minutes on that if you don't mind. There's supplies in the boxes, y'all. Open them up, bust them open, get in there. Something's missing, let me know, I'll fill. Did y'all need some more time on that? Want to rush you? Be able to express what you want to express. And again, if you do not want these at the end, I do, if you don't mind. If you want to keep them, I totally encourage that. It's a great resource to look back on later. I can go through these parenting labs with us. We do each kind of work with each other. Sorry, you got it by themselves today. Sorry. I'm getting around. into that relationship with Parent Raccoon? Do you think Bandit felt loved? And it doesn't have to be, yes or no. Sometimes emotions are not muddled. Just based on what you saw or how you might have felt if you were Little Bandit. Did they feel loved? And then as we transition to Baby, the new one with Little Mohawk, how do you think Baby perceives the relationship with adult Bandit? Do you think Baby feels loved? Anybody want to share? You can shout out how you feel.
But have a different way of disciplining and loving their kids, because, we all want the best for them, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's hard to persevere, man, because I feel like giving up every other day.
It's-
And he's just my grandson, his parents ran out of him, he was born.
And that's true. I mean, we can be parental figures no matter what, but I let you read my mind. They're segueing for me. Thank you. But there are different styles, and we're going to discuss that. We might have to skip this one. I super apologize. I think I misgauged time. My bad. But this is a reflection activity I had planned where talking about a situation where your child did an experiment, whether you had initiated that or not, and how you responded to it. Just kind of a check-in with yourself to see, if your child tried something like Dr. Neil deGrasse said, how you reacted to it. So I'm sorry, I'm going to breeze past it, but it is on your sheet if you want to ask about it. This is what I wanted to go to is the different styles of parenting. There is a plethora. There is so many, and they keep coming out with new ones every day. Because it's hard, and no one has the answer, obviously, because, if they did, we'd all be doing it. So this is an overview of 4 categories of parenting styles. So in and of themselves, they are not parenting styles, but they are the categories that parenting styles tend to fall into. There's a sheet I handed out to y'all that's the scientific data on it. If you want to read it and look at the different styles. All intents and purposes, I was very proud of that. That's the good part right there. Authoritarian parenting. And as you might expect, an authoritarian parenting category, all of those parenting styles is the parental figure, whether you're the mom, dad, older brother, sister, foster parent, whoever. If you are in charge of raising a child, you are the boss. They don't question. These are the rules. You will follow the rules, or there will be very stiff consequences. Authoritarian parenting has some pluses. The children tend to be very well behaved or high functioning out in public to an extent. It does have a cost where sometimes they are not as articulate at their emotions. They can have a lot of anger or aggression, and they don't always know how to deal with that. So it gets results, but it doesn't necessarily have a lot of communication. Super hard for me because my mind likes to move letters around, but this is a different word. Authoritative, mess it up every time, so I apologize if I do here. Authoritative parenting is like a happy medium. So it's any parenting style that falls into a sort of combined, neutral, harmonious, where it's got a little bit of everything. And of course, it's usually our ideal. It is a nurturing parenting style where the parent and the child engage with each other. There are boundaries, there are rules, there are consequences to violating those boundaries, rules, or expectations. However, they are reasonable. They sometimes are discussed. They are adapted. It's a very fluid, organic way of nurturing. This one is unfortunately where I fall, and I'm sorry. Permissive parenting. These are the parenting styles where it is party all the time, in that you and the child are almost like friends. You don't want the child to dislike you or be angry at you, so you tend to say yes to everything. Candy for dinner? Sure. Soda instead of water? Absolutely. Brushing our teeth? Nah. So permissive parenting has pluses. The child and the parent can have a lot of camaraderie. They get along. They do a lot of things together. The negative is the child doesn't always understand boundary structures or rules outside of that relationship. And so they can be a little bit self-destructive. or even engage in risky behavior because they didn't have those limits set by a parental figure. So I got a little mad. This one is subtle. It's called uninvolved parenting. So it's the category of parenting styles where it's very, I give the child legally everything they need. There is food, there is shelter, there is shoes, you're set up, you're okay. But I'm gonna check out and go do my thing. I will see you when you are 18. Uninvolved parenting has pluses and minuses too. These kind of styles can have children that are very resilient, very independent. They're the children that make my own cereal, that's fine. You know, they can usually do things on their own because they had to. They develop independence. The consequence, negative, or trade-off of that is there is usually not a relationship between the parent and child. They don't understand how to communicate emotions. They can also fall victim to a lot of harm or risky behavior because they have no guidance. And these are, again, broad categories. And more often than not, we as adults, parental figures to children, pick and choose out of all of them. We take a little bit of everything. That's usually healthy and totally normal. The scientific data is just looking at parenting styles that are an extreme, maybe focus too much on one and what may happen. Scientific methods, sometimes what we think will happen won't. So a child raised in this environment may thrive, may not, or any of the others. So I think it's on the sheet, the last 4 questions. Out of just those broad categories, which of the 4 parenting categories did your parental figure or figures most fall in? Were they very authoritarian? I am the boss, you will listen. Are they authoritative? Like, hey, let's talk, let's work on this together. Were they permissive? Like, party all the time? Or were they uninvolved? See you later. Kind of what was your experience growing up? Just like little Bandit growing up in the cartoon. You're an adult now. Which of the 4 do you mostly align? More often than not, in the clutch, which do you fall under? Again, I'm permissive. I have got to work on. Kids really are sweet to me, though. They'll come to the library and they know I'm a big old doormat, so they kind of will. You need to say no. Yes, I do. Okay. I appreciate that. And this is just a reflection for yourself. How do you think right now your child, the child you're in charge of, perceives your relationship with them? Do they think my parental figure is somebody I can talk to, I can trust? If something scares me, I can tell them, I feel safe. Do they just super respect you? Like, my parents, my guardian, my foster parent, my grandparents, great-grandparents, whoever's in charge of them, my adult figure is the boss. And if they find out I did this, or I messed up this, or I broke this, like, I'm in for it. Or do they just think, yeah, they're cool, we're bros? And this is sort of just something for you to think about as you leave here and go on for another week. Is there room for growth, positive change in y'all's relationship? We can always get better. Y'all see me struggle every week. Hopefully I'm getting a teeny bit better. But this applies to anything we're doing in life. So of course it does apply to our relationship with our children. Is there room to improve? What can you as parental figures do that might help nurture, going back to the scientific method, curiosity in a child? We can just focus on that. How can I help my child be more engaged in learning, curious about the world, have positive learning experiences? These are some I borrowed from the internet and surmised. They apply to school-age children. You can model something, take a walk outside, ask questions. Hey, why do you think that trees' leaves are falling off in the winter? Stuff like that. Follow your child's lead and see what they're interested in and engage in it. Like, my child seems to like music. Hey, you want to go to a concert? That's, appropriate. Do you want to take a music class together? Oh, I know how to play an instrument. I shall show you. Answer questions simply and clearly. I get asked a lot of very unusual questions in my day from the kids. And I have to adjust depending on their age level and what I think they are capable of understanding in that moment. My 6-year-old niece likes to ask some really odd questions, and I gotta get great on how to answer that.
Where do these come from?
Of course, I have to pitch this. Use the library. There are some wonderful county libraries in our area. Check them out. Bring your child. Sometimes it's story hour. They have some really fun activities you can do in the library, crafts. But you can check out those together. Show them things you're interested in. They can show you stuff they think is cool. Like, have you read Dogman? No, I thought it was just a movie. Oh, it's a book, and let me tell you all about it. And they do. Amazing. Ask open-ended questions. So not, do you like whatever, because that'll just be a yes, no, but how was your day today? How was golfing club? Get them to elaborate or describe. And when they do it, show engagement or interest. I am horrible at it, but sometimes I'm listening to the adult while I'm doing this. I'm not really listening. Children pick up on that quick. That's why they're like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And they really want you to like eye contact and watch every single thing they're doing. And generally, redirect, don't discourage. This goes back to what Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about. They're going to do some things that are destructive. Of course, dangerous, get them away from that. But we're talking about just little things that might be inconvenient for you, like his example of the egg. They see you cooking, they grab the egg, they want to know what's up with that. Smash it. Okay, maybe I give you a bowl. We'll smash it in the bowl so you can see it. Let's do it on the sidewalk. Get them to participate in a safe, clean way for you. Be encouraging about it. Learn from it if you didn't handle it the way you want to. And all right, we'll try again. You can always try again. They're sweet about that, but kids. And help them help you with cleanup. Get them to help you if they made a mess. Oh, that's cool. We're gonna clean up this egg, sanitize. It'll be all right. And make time for activities. I know it's hard. We're all busy. There's just never enough time in the day. But if you can, play with them. Just play, pretend, play, imagine. Go on an adventure with them. Or you can let them drive the activity in a safe way. The more fun we can have. Sorry, you're fine, Melissa, you're fine. So I want to thank you guys for your involvement here today. Just continue with where we went last week. Keeping engaged, working with our kids, being present, and just doing the best we can, because parenting is challenging. You can do it, y'all.
Once you disconnect, Miss Amber, I can connect for the survey. There is a QR code in the chat, everybody. If you want to click that or look it up on your phone, you can get to the survey and that'll give you credit for having logged in here. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to leave the teams up so you can get that link. Close it here in about 5 minutes, all right? See y'all next week.